backs. Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
The views and opinions expressed on Trudging Together are solely those of the host, co-host, and our guests. They do not necessarily reflect the views of any organization, fellowship, or other entity, and definitely not your boss, your neighbor, or that one guy in your home group. The content of this program is not intended to replace medical, psychological, or professional advice. If you're looking for that, please seek guidance from qualified professionals who spent way too many years in school. What you'll hear here is based on lived experience, recovery journeys, and the occasional bad coffee-fueled joke. Trudging Together is not affiliated with any 12-step fellowship. We are simply people sharing our stories and walking this path together, one day at a time. Thank you for joining us, and remember, recovery is serious business, but that doesn't mean we can't laugh along the way.
Morning, afternoon, stuff. Hello, everyone. Happy Sunday. Sorry, it's a hard day around the Miller house. We're not fighting or anything like that. Just shit gets hard sometimes, man. We are fucking broke. Why is my screen backwards? Oh, because I had to go clear some cache yesterday. I had to clear my downloads and all that other shit. So it resets everything. So, but good morning. Good to see you. Or afternoon. I did get up this morning, but was it really morning? I don't know. This hour thing threw me off. This extra hour threw me off. So, yeah, I had to put a lot of work into yesterday. I had a lot of work because Substack usually makes these clips, but wasn't doing it. And I had to do all this stuff just to get to make clips. And then I had to try clips over it. And anyway, and it didn't get many views. And so I'm a little disappointed, but it is what it is. I'll have the greatest of news, but I might have to start shutting. You know, if anything's going to go first, it's going to be my stuff. So I may have to cut back to just being on YouTube, and that's it. So we will see. I'm not sure. I might ask for donations, but the present moment, we ain't gonna make it, man. We're kind of screwed. All right, I'm not really in the mood for jokes, but we do them, right? So we gotta stay consistent when it comes to the program. It is what it is. I'm looking at some work. There's a couple places. There's a place down the street called Andy's House, and what they do is they take people to non-emergency appointments. It's $25 an hour. I know how to drive. I know how to talk. I'm good at yakking with people, driving around. $25 an hour, 4 days a week, 4 hours each. Yeah, something like that. I'm going to have to be very careful on what kind of work I look for, though. So, but just so you know, I am looking for work. So I'm asking my friends to keep me in mind. If you could, I may have to cut my hair. Look respectable. I might have to look respectable. I doubt that. Driving job. I'm wondering if they'll let me drive people to detox. Maybe they'll do that too. All right. Let's do Dion's Daily Funnies. Why did the electric car feel discriminated against? Because the rules were not current. Yeah. Surprised we don't have anything in chat yet. All right. I'm such a good navigator, a self-driving car, once asked me for directions. Yeah. I didn't have a car for a long time. So, um, yeah, so I'd be walking around a lot. People always ask me for directions. I was always being asked. Better know where your 7-Elevens and liquor stores are, though. Why do melons have weddings? Because they can't elope. Yeah. Watch what you say around egg whites. They can't take a yolk. I'm so good at fixing things. My motto is, if it's broke, I'll still fix it. It makes no sense. Where did the pumpkins have their meeting? In the gourd room. In the gourd room. Today we're talking about there is a solution. There is a solution, right? And we're taking this right out of the chapter, right? So we of Alcoholics Anonymous know thousands of men and women who were just as hopeless as Bill. Nearly all have recovered. I too have met thousands of people like Bill, like myself, like you, and those that have followed the program, those that have followed the instructions seem to make it. It's true. Those that complete the program seem to make it. As long as you maintain your alcoholism from there, yeah, about 75% of the people that complete the program make it. It's probably higher than that. Why? Because the program works. Plain and simple. Because the program works. Recovery is not a theory, it is an experience, and we share our experience, strength, and hope with each other. Right? Yes, with each other, so that we may solve our common problem and help others recover from alcoholism. That is the main purpose of Alcoholics Anonymous, right? When people first come in, they often think that they are different, right? And then they sit around for a little bit, listen to us, and find out that, gosh, they're not really much different than we are they? So we'll start telling their story. Wait a minute, I do that also. That was something I really appreciated about Mark. We spent most of our time talking about making fun of intrusive thoughts, right? And he kept saying the first thought is wrong. The first thought is wrong. And it's true. The first thought is wrong. Okay. And it doesn't matter if you've been in this program for 6 months, if you have been in this program for 6 years or 60 years. It is still true. That does not change. You do not graduate in certain levels when it comes to sobriety. No. You don't know what life is going to throw at you. I've got a friend in my life, they got 34 years, and they have had some of the hardest years of their lives the last couple of years. But they're still sober. Why? Because there is a solution. That's why. They made it because they made sure they were going to meetings. They were working with others. They have sponsees. They're working their own program. Yes, that is why they made it. Okay. And time, people keep getting caught up. I'm noticing they're getting caught up on time. It is really of no use. The only thing time is really good for, I don't know what my kids are making, but the heat came on and I can smell it, and I don't like the smell of it. Yeah, all right. People eat weird things. So, could be worse. Could be the smell of alcohol or crack, right? It could be like huffing crack into the bed. So yeah, we'd have a pretty big problems if my kids were doing great. Yeah, they're the last. They'd be the last people. Any of my kids, honestly, would be the last I would think of at this point. Right? What else? What else goes on in there? There is a solution, right? Because we share something deeper than just drinking. It, that is the one. That is one element out of the thousands. That is one element out of the thousands of things that make us alike, right? Now, that is the cool part about the big book. This is the miracle of the big book. I'm going to read on page 17, the bottom paragraph. The tremendous fact for every one of us is that we have discovered a common solution. We have a way out on which we can absolutely agree and upon which we can join in brotherly and harmonious action. This is the great news this book carries to those who suffer from alcoholism. Hmm. Hmm. Right? What is the miracle? Right? A lot of people think that Bill W. wrote the big book, and that's not true. 100 recovered alcoholics wrote the big book. Bill gave us an outline, and it was tore apart. Okay? Right? The miracle of the big book is that 100 alcoholics could agree on something. See, Alcoholics Anonymous is divinely inspired. There are a couple programs around that are divinely inspired. Oxford Group, they were divinely inspired. And 12-step groups. Celebrate Recovery, I don't know the story. Smart Recovery, I don't know the story. So I don't know if they were, right? But I don't think that they were. Smart Recovery would be pissed if you said it was divinely inspired, actually. They'd be like, we don't believe in that. Okay. All right. You're not required to. Wow. So we share something deeper than drinking. We have a way out which we can absolutely agree that we could join in brotherly and harmonious action. Okay. So AA works because we share that common problem. But that common problem comes with hundreds of things. Lots of things. All right. You get intrusive thoughts. Yeah, that's kind of an alcoholic thing. I've always had intrusive thoughts. Always. All right. What else? Did you pick a date you were going to die by? Yeah, you did. You're an alcoholic. We're morbid like that. We had told you you have months to live, and we're aloof about it. Yeah, and this isn't new news to us. We know. We don't really want to admit it, but we know. We almost welcome the idea. We're like, well, death's probably better than this. See? The loneliness. It is. Isn't it weird that the emotion of loneliness is usually what mostly brings us together? And thank God, because I needed somewhere to belong, man. I needed somewhere to belong, right? AA works because we share a common problem, and the identification is the key. Oh, you're an alcoholic too? Good. I'm not alone. What do you mean there's 2 million of it? What do you mean there's 2 million? Then there's probably more than 2 million in Alcoholics Anonymous by now. That was the count that was done in 2021. I would say it's probably about the same. AA's been fluctuating. Meetings are getting small again. Even on OIAA, man, meetings are getting small. least some of the ones, at least the ones I've been going to. Like I'll go hit like just random meetings. I'll go in, there'll be like 3 people, 5 people. Yeah, need a little bit more than that. Anyway. What else? Well, there's the real nature of alcoholism, right? And there is a solution, explains the illness, right? The tremendous fact for every one of us is we've discovered the common solution. Okay, but there are certain things that we also have in common that are not necessarily the solution, like the physical craving, the mental obsession, and wondering why we just don't have enough willpower to fight against this alcoholism or these other things, right? Especially when we have willpower for other things in this world. I have a lot of willpower, but when it comes to alcohol, once I take the first drink, all willpower is gone. See, I'm at a spot now where I get to choose whether I drink or not. But once I make the decision to take the first drink, it's all over with. The choice is now gone. Now, when I make the choice not to take the drink, again, the choice is gone. At least for the moment. I'm so happy that, because I don't know how you folks went with any time staying sober. I don't get it. People are like, yeah, I stayed sober for 3 months. Without God relieving me of the obsession, I had no chance. I didn't have a chance. It had me. Hook, line, and sinker. It had me. Yeah. So I am grateful for the fact that God removed that obsession. It was the only way it was going to work for me. Because I had none. I didn't want to. Right? That illusion of control. And I hear people talk about this. Again, not something that I went through. I knew I wasn't in control. I knew that. Stupid Alateen teaching me that. It's 111, by the way. For you number people. I'm a number person. Means I'm doing the right thing. Right? So that illusion of control, right? The idea that somehow, someday he will control in his drinking is the great obsession of every abnormal drinker. Now, I knew I was an alcoholic, and I knew that I wasn't going to have control. I knew that once I took the first drink, I just proved it to myself a million times. Even by the time I was 16 years old, I had proven it to myself. It told me in the big book, go try some controlled drinking. I tried. It didn't work. It didn't happen. Couldn't do it. I knew it. So I resigned myself to the fact that that's the way it was. Right? But I do understand what they're saying. I get it. I was just trying to fit in. That was it. It wasn't that I wanted to drink like a normal person. It was that I wanted to be a normal person. And I think that's what we're all going after. You knew you couldn't control your drinking, but you made that the problem. Now that's what all of us did. That's what we did. We made alcohol the problem, but it wasn't the problem. It was the solution. It was a bad solution. It wasn't a good solution, but it was at least the solution. See, if I quit drinking, well, then what's going to become of me? I was so scared of being a non-entity. At least I had something, because I was a non-entity most of my life, and I didn't want to continue being that. At least with alcoholism, I was something. I was used to getting bad attention, so that part didn't bother me. I am used to people thinking bad shit about me, and they have a right to. I've done some pretty crappy things in my life. Not proud of them, but I don't feel guilty about them anymore. I may a little bit, enough to keep me motivated. I mean, zero guilt. I think, yeah, I don't know that that's going to be possible for me. I'm going to have twangs of guilt, but they don't last very long. I don't hang on to guilt for long. So, right. So the great obsession. How long people tried to manage their drinking, the insanity of alcohol returns. And when it does, it's twice as worse. Well, and I don't know why either. Like when I said I am going to quit drinking, that is it. The craving got 10 times worse. And when I sit here and tell you that I would promise that I was going to quit drinking while putting on my shoes to go to the liquor store, I'm not lying. I didn't know that's what I was going to do, but you see, I had no choice. Especially at the end, I had no choice. If I didn't wake up and put alcohol in my body, the withdrawal would have killed me. The withdrawal would have killed me. Right? So, this is why alcoholics need each other. This is why we need each other. We are average Americans. All sections of this country and many of its occupations are represented. Right? AA isn't for a special type of person, and it works for for ordinary people. Yeah. 12 steps just aren't for alcoholics. You want to live a better life? Try the 12 steps, man. It works. I have watched non-alcoholics go through the steps and claim a better life. Absolutely. Yeah. It's not just for alcoholics. He's silly. Huh. But this is the way that seems to work for alcoholics. Okay. Not the only way, but it is the number one way. Right. Right. Yeah. And we are. We're there isn't a type of person that isn't represented in AA. I met them all. I have every nationality, every creed, every type of job. Yeah. And it's funny because new people will come in. Yeah, the industry that I'm in probably has the highest amount of alcohol per employee than every other industry. They all say it. You want to know the number one industry for drinking? I know it. It's construction. Construction. Yeah. Let's find out. But I looked this up less than a month ago, so I know I'm right. But I don't remember the other ones. What are the top employment places with the highest drinking? They didn't even know how to ask. Professions with the highest drinking. There we go. Here are the top industries and profession with the highest rates of heavy drinking. It's still thinking mining and quarry, oil extraction, construction, accommodation and food service, arts and entertainment, utilities. And that, wow, that's weird. And it says and literally it just says, see if it, yeah, it's not gonna do it. Literally, that's just all it says. That's funny. Ah, right. So there is a solution. The great fact is just this and nothing less, that we have had deep and effective spiritual experiences. I've had a spiritual experience. I've had several spiritual experiences. Spiritual experiences are the norm for me now. Yeah, they're the norm. I have them every day. When you work with people and do that, you know, so and a spiritual experience might be different for you. It says to describe a spiritual experience. Just I can't explain it. It's a sudden thought. It's just a displacement of emotions and things like that. Okay? You'll know it when you feel it. You know. Uh, and it doesn't have to be dramatic. Then we have the transformation. The central fact of our lives today is the absolute certainty that our Creator has entered our hearts and lives in a way which is indeed miraculous. It's true. True for a lot of us. So, all right. So there is a solution, and it is within your reach. All right. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate it. I love you. You know I do. Peace out. And keep on.